Welcome everybody. I did say I'd put on the internet how to make the bread rolls, which I find I need like a sandwich, or if I want to have something on toast. These are a staple for me. That when you're doing keto and you can't have bread, potatoes, pasta, this is my go-to for being able to make a meal and being able to make a lunch. So first of all, you need 250 grams of golden milled linseed. You can buy it in Aldi. They do it in a bag. I think I've got one with goji berries in it somewhere. But I've just bought a big kilo bag off the internet, off Amazon actually, because it just lasts me longer. So 250 grams of linseed, or they're also called flaxseed. It's the same thing. Pinch of salt, so Himalayan sea salt, just put a little pinch of salt in there, or a generous pinch of salt I should say. I quite like mine salty, so I'm going to put 2 pinches of salt in there. Just mix that in. 3 teaspoons of baking powder, and that's where you're going to get your rice, because you've no flour, you need the baking powder. So 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And you can put herbs and spices in, so I quite like just a little bit of garlic and some mixed herbs. Gives me a nice roll, nice flavour to the roll, but I'm just going to do these plain today. And that's all your dry ingredients. Now wet ingredients, I found a recipe on the internet that calls for 6 eggs, but what I find is I don't like things a little bit eggy. So what I do is I just use the egg whites, and you don't get that eggy taste. To give it the flavour of bread, we're going to use a sachet of yeast. So this is the instant dried yeast. I can't open that. Packet of dried yeast. In fact, I'll get the scissors on it. And just put it into 180 mils of warm water. So I've just got a little measuring jug here. Got cold water in it, and the kettle's just boiled, so I know that'll make it warm. That's just to get these yeast activated and start it off. Get that going. Give it a little stir. And that smell of yeast is going to make your rolls taste bready. So all we've got to do now is combine the wet and the dry ingredients. So I'm going to put my yeast in. My water in first. Spread it around, because the linseed will soak up all that water. And what I've done with the eggs, I've got 6 eggs. The recipe that I found on the internet calls for 6 eggs, and you usually just mix your eggs in at this point. But I prefer it with just the egg whites, and to get more of a rise, I've whisked the egg whites up so they've got air in them as well. So I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more bready than the ones I made with the whole eggs in. So this is a bit of an experiment for me today. So now I'm just going to fold in. I've not completely whisked them, I've just lightly whisked them. I'm going to fold in the egg whites. I know we'll lose some of this air, but as long as we retain. Now you've got to mix it in, or else you'll end up with eggy bits in your bread. So it needs a good mix. You don't want to be seeing white bits, so that's just going to keep mixing until it's all nicely comes together. And that's just about ready. Now what I'm going to do now is just let that sit for a few minutes, because it's a very sticky mix at the moment. But the linseed will absorb some of that moisture and just make it a little bit easier to handle. So I'll come back to that in about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been a few minutes now, and that's That's gone quite a lot dry. You can see it's more of a dough mix. I mean, you could do this in a mixer with a dough handle if you wanted. Now it makes 8, so you've got to divide it. You can either weigh the whole thing and then split it, or you can just eyeball it like I'm going to do. Because it's a bit of a sticky dough, the way to handle it is either wet your hands or oil your hands, and it makes it more easier to handle then. Just roll it into balls, then place it on the baking sheet and just flatten down a little bit. There you go, that's one. I'm just wetting my hands and putting them in a dish with water every time I do this. My hand, you can see it's beginning to stick. They're not going to rise like a normal bread, so you want to make them on the tray the size that you actually want them to be when you're eating. So I just eyeball it. Sometimes I make them flatter and thinner, which like you can use like a wrap really, cut them in half very, very thinly and then fill them. And sometimes I'll make them thicker for burgers and things like that. That's 3. I'll come back when I've finished all that. I'll put it back on when I've done them all. Okay, so that's them all done. It's made 8 altogether, and I'm just going to put them in the oven now for about 20 minutes, give or take a minute or 2. It all depends on your oven, at 180 degrees. Just set that to 20 minutes, and we'll come back when they're done. So here we are, they've just come out of the oven. They're a bit warm to eat at the moment. As you can see, they have risen slightly, and I'll just cut one in half and you can see what they're like inside. There we go. So sort of the texture of bread, nice and soft. And I love these toasted. I really do like them toasted with eggs and avocado on. So they're my fake bread rolls, keto rolls. Okay, see you soon. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I need my subscribers. So if you like watching the videos, you're enjoying watching my journey so far, you know, I'm Keto Kath, and this is KISS Keto, which stands for Keep It Super Simple. Bread rolls are the simplest thing you can do, and I find them, you know, an absolute staple. So if you're enjoying watching the videos, please subscribe. Click on the subscribe button below. See you on Friday. Today's Monday. See you Friday for the next weekly weigh-in.